Collective, welcome, welcome. You know what it is. If it resonates, please take it to your heart. Message wise, we got Genie in a bottle for your song. Welcome to Music Channelings. Let's dive into it. Now, there are other messages that I will link in the description or in the actual video. That's like a past reading. If it resonates, please go ahead. Also, sorry for the loud background music. But yeah, Genie in a Bottle is your song message for this reading. I'm gonna do like a masculine versus feminine tuning in. But I got specifics, okay? So I'm gonna just read them. You know what specifics are. Not general, very specific for somebody, okay? I also want to mention that this can go both ways. I've noticed recently when I do channel messages, it can go vice versa, okay? If it makes sense, I'm happy to help, okay? So the first one is Jessica, okay? That's somebody's name. And then we got 1999. It could be that you were born during this time or something took place during 1999, okay? And then we have this system. Don't take offense, okay? I feel like somebody has a problem of how the system is operating, okay? Or something is going on systematically. And then next message, Asian looking, okay? And then the following message, we got Celsius. Okay, so Celsius, because I live in Sweden, we follow the metric system, so that was my first initial link. So maybe you live in a place where you follow the metric system. Instead of Fahrenheit, you go by Celsius, okay, in terms of measurements and volumes, etc. Okay, or Celsius could be linked to an energy drink. I also recently got put on, I think it was like somewhere in March, okay? I don't really, be drinking stuff like that. I got put on this caffeinated energy drink that could also be relevant. You could be into that, you could also be like, let me get my cup, let me try it out, okay? Side note, the caffeine is on a different level. Yeah, okay. I'm trying not to insert myself, but that could also be relevant. Okay, collective. I'm gonna just collectively just shuffle for all the messages, okay? Let's dissect it. 1991 or 1999 or 1991 as well. In some terms of 1991 and 1999, somebody's not healing. Somebody could also be 21 years of age, or something happened on the 21st. So somebody really wants to heal, but they're having issue with healing, okay? I guess so. That's it. Yeah, somebody's still very much hurt, right? They're really, they're having a hard time healing something. So whoever is born during 1999, 1991, okay, or whatever happened during that timeline, if it's a timeline situation, somebody's still affected by this, okay? Move on to the next message. So we got Jessica. These are your cards or this person's card. I know Jessica could be craving chocolate right now. So in terms of Jessica, either they're having issues with their family, or they don't want to have a family, or they're having issues with your family, or don't want to be a family with you. Okay. Something, the issue here with Jessica, either you feel this way or they feel this way. The issue is like in relation to family. Okay. And I feel like somebody is not really realizing the core issues. So I don't know, maybe somebody's homesick, or you are homesick. If you're missing your family, maybe you're abroad or traveling here, or they are. Yeah, somebody doesn't feel, in terms of Jessica, you or them, they don't feel like they belong. They don't feel like they fit in. Okay. So they're having, yeah, pretty much. They're actually feeling quite stressed about this. It's like they want to try, or you want to try, but it's like trying is also like on some, I feel like it could mess with your mental health. Just like the lady on the card here, like I said, she looks kind of stressed out, and she here looks like she's like trying, but she's afraid to, you know. So someone having a hard time fitting in, okay, or feeling accepted. Either you feel this way or they feel this way in relation to the name, okay. I feel like this is something in secret, to be quite honest. And then we have this system, don't take offense. So maybe somebody's gonna be like, I mean, since we have the name Jessica, I don't feel like it correlates, but somebody could be like, Jessica, that's just the system. Like, you just have to accept it. It is what it is. This is our norms, our rules. This is how we live, right? This is how people are. And you're like, I don't know if I can integrate to this systematical, living that you guys are living, or the belief system that you are, it's a norm. Something is kind of like, I feel like somebody's going to belittle somebody's experience, okay? I'm going to be like, well, that's just the system. Either you're going to do this to this person, or they're going to do this to you, okay? And I feel like if they do this to you, you are going to leave immediately. I don't know if they're going to leave if you do this to them, but if they do this to you, a collective, then you're going to leave. You're going to pack your bags and you're going to say no. I feel like in their eyes you might come off as quite defensive, even offensive, and it sounds weird, but like, I guess the system that's are in place kind of doesn't make sense to you, okay? Because somebody's kind of like, don't be upset about how things are systematically, okay? Now, please take this one with a grain of salt. After that, the system, don't take offense, Asian looking came up. So I don't know if there's some sort of systematical racism going on, or oppression against Asians, or maybe they're oppressing you. I don't know. Okay. But something about that look is, somebody is weird, Somebody from an Asian background is being weird, or they're being weird against you because you're Asian, or preference or something. I don't know, but somebody's like being weird. So this card, I feel like what will resonate is submission. So maybe there's like some sort of like, listen, I got friends on a universal level. I live in a melting pot of society, in this society, right? But it could be like, for instance, going back to, I don't know, maybe there's a situation where it's like, okay, when we're together, it's kind of like a Western view of it all. But if you're going to be like a wife or a husband, you need to be more submissive or something. Maybe there is some sort of systematical viewpoints that your person don't see eye to eye with, or you don't see eye to eye with, right? And somebody's kind of like, somebody's being weird, okay? Um, somebody's being weird about this. You or them. The thing is, I feel like there's too much disagreements. I think things were kind of good when it's like there was no rules and things are just going with the flow, and it's not based on like a future. So for instance, meeting them, dealing with them in passing, everything is good, right? Just for a brief time. But to get something serious out of this, I feel like you have to kind of form to their norms, right? Their ways in life, the system of it all. Or they have to do this in relation to you, and somebody's having a hard time accepting that, okay? Or it could also be in a situation where it's like people in society feel some type of way about who you have chosen and your belief system and how you go about in life, or they feel some type of way about your person, about choosing you. For instance, if they're Asian and they're choosing you and you're West, like, come from a Western society, right? And they could be cool with this, but then the society back in an Asian country might look at this, we're not compatible, there is, it's not compatible, right? So, I don't know, something of this nature. Is this all of the specifics? Not me talking forever and a day. So the Celsius, I feel like it's either like I said, the metric system or the energy drink. We're not gonna clarify that, but based on the song, just put a light on things. This song is based on sexual intimacy. Okay, so the artist, who is a female, all right, and very much in their sexual energy, and is talking about how if you want to be with me, you gotta have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you are doing, basically. If you're here trying to say that you want to please this feminine, you have to come correct. Okay, you can't be on no funny business, or else this is never gonna happen, or it's gonna be a one-time thing. When I first heard this song as a millennium, for me it was a pop-locking pop song. Obviously my kid brain is giving this is a good dancing pop song, and didn't really understand the lyrics of it all, obviously, as one does when you are a child. But you could also be a dancer from that note, right? Or the person is a dancer. But the artist herself, she says, let's go to genius.com. Let's see here. Number 7 could be relevant, okay? But she says the song was pitched to okay, so there are like different breakdowns of what the song means, but the artist says is what I mentioned. It's a sexual song about in order to please somebody correctly in their way, okay? But based on this site, it says the song is about self-respect. People don't get it. It really is You see, you gotta treat me the right way. Okay, so this is about self-respect, according to one commentator. Um, mm-hmm. Talked about being lonely at night. The song was initially called If You Wanna Be With Me. And everybody said Genie in a bottle was better. Okay? So basically, if you want to be with them, you have to treat them right. That's what this song is all about. Okay? And also, I'm tuning into what I said in the beginning in terms of the breakdown. If you want to have sex with them, simply you have to treat them right. You can't come in with no funny business. So if somebody is like, I don't know, being like very hard headed, I don't think. Let's say you're being hard headed, you're not gonna have sex with this person, right? If they're feminine, and if they're being hard headed, they won't have sex with you. So something about this nature is relevant. You know, if things are not going with the flow, you're not gonna give them any chances, or vice versa. Heavy on if you are watching for a feminine, okay? All right. Now we're gonna. What's relevant for the collective based on the cards? So, watching for a feminine, we get evaluate. So, I feel like you need to evaluate more, or they haven't evaluated enough on what to do. What they want is success, okay? They also want to be stable, heavy on being stable financially, but also like success wise. So maybe you need to be successful in order for you guys to be together, or they need to be stable for success. Okay, so watching for feminine. Sorry, the Mercury retrograde and my speech impendency is just, all in cahoots this morning. But this person, if you're watching for feminine collective, they are not leaving yet, okay? Again, you're still evaluating. The thing is, if they are not feeling successfully with you, if they don't have success, so for instance, if they lose when they're with you, you're out the door. If you're not successful, you're out the door. If like I feel like the person you're dealing with as a feminine, they're very big on energy. It doesn't mean you have to come with money, but it's kind of like, if you want success with them, you have to come correct. And that's it. This person has a lot of, their life is always on the go. It's always moving, and they're very much on like, if it's not positive, if it's not successful. So for instance, I feel like that's a key. This is coming out again. That's a key factor for you. They're very much like work, money, cash flow, abundance, ambition. If you're not ambitious enough, if the money doesn't look right in their eyes, if you don't match their energy, their levels, they're gonna be like, no, you're not gonna get a chance, or we're not gonna get jiggy with it, we're not gonna sleep together. But so the energy I'm getting here, watching for a feminine, they're very much like business first, pleasure second, right? So you could be dealing with one of those alpha women. If you're watching for a feminine, they're very much like, I'm focused on my money and my career. For them to just kind of like be with somebody that's not on their level in terms of financially or even status or career wise, I don't feel like they're gonna give you any chance, right? So you either have to make more than them, or equally, or help them increase financially in some way, or success wise in some way or form, because they already got their shit together. So if you don't come with, things in order or even more, I don't feel like they're going to open the door for you, right? And maybe you guys live two different lives in terms of your belief system and ways, but they're kind of just like, it is what it is, and I feel like they will not change for anyone. if I'm gonna be really honest. I'm gonna tell you this: if they ever hooked up with you, it's a one-time thing, and that's it. You know, so they're very much in their alpha energy. If you don't know what that is, look that up, okay? So yeah, that's it. And I feel like that's it. So I guess this is an advice card from the this one here. So we got these two cards. Okay. I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. Some of you guys can also be dealing with somebody that's on their spiritual journey as well. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. So I also feel like they feel they're always in abundance. Okay, they're never in lack. You know, I am never in lack. I always have enough to give. I give what's given back to me. I don't take anything less of that. Okay, this is if you're watching for feminine. Now we're gonna do if you're watching for a masculine. This masculine here, they're very centered. They also like you to be very centered. I feel like you are in this energy. If not, they want you to be. Okay, so center yourself, be at peace, or they see you as very centered. Okay, this is the type of person that, you know, they're like looking back and be like, oh my god, I see somebody like got their shit together. I'm gonna try and see if I can make this work, because they really do, but they are a bit afraid. Okay, but yeah, they feel very balanced with you. You make them feel peace. You make them feel centered. This is if you're watching for a masculine. Okay. What else? There might be some blockages still. Some roadblocks. I don't know, like, this might be relevant though. I'm tuning into another song. I just did a reading call back in... No, maybe it's just stuck in my head. Something about Chicago, okay? But, yeah, this person is very honest, very... Some of you guys even innocent. They also know that if they fuck up, that you will leave, okay? You will not be sugarcoating this. But you bring them a lot of healing as well. But I'm also tuning into this equally as they respect you. If something is off in terms of the masculine's eyes, they will be quite brutal and honest about this. So, no funny business, okay? So these are the messages here. This one from I thought it was gonna be a fun sexual reading to a very serious. But I love this though. This is like the collective I'm tuning in for is like, you guys, you know, you're done with the games. I love it. You know, we are mature individuals here. I love this. Collective. These are your messages. We're gonna do a little initial situation. I'm also channeling 23 could be relevant. Maybe 23 years of age, 23 years ago. The 23rd, okay? First with the last initials. I also realized that, actually, yeah, no. So, first minute last. There we go. I don't know, somebody could also be on their period as well. Or somebody's very fascinated. Let me double check. Is somebody like fascinated with somebody's period? I read somewhere. I don't know. I don't remember if I read it or somebody said something. I don't know, but like Okay, listen. If menstruation period, blood, all that freaks you out, please don't. Disclaimer: I'm about to talk about this. Um, yeah, I read somewhere that the as just like pheromones, right? When you like somebody and when dopamine kind of kicks in when you're in love, um, there there are similar effects to the woman's menstrual cycle. Um, that is like a pheromone for men. I don't know if I read it or if I heard it from somebody telling me this, that when a female is on their period, um, that like is like a like a pheromone for the males, for the men. Um, Similar to how animals can tell when you're pregnant before even the belly shows, or even their siblings to the babies they're about to come could be known to certain babies based on like certain signs they show, indicating that the mother is pregnant. Or to just, make it more fun, when you are on your period, could be an attractive thing for your partner. Okay? If it's not science based, it's something of this nature where the smell of you being on a period before or after, or maybe you guys are the type of people that have sex during your moon cycles, aka your period. Something of this nature is very much like, I don't know. I know. I don't know. It's a collective. Listen, I read for everybody, as you know. Thank you for stopping by. The music just stopped. Listen, good luck on the journey in your life. Hopefully everything works out. You know what they want now, the energy that they're in or you're in, depending on, where you get stand here. And yeah, I only wish you guys the best from here.